And to begin the hour, he drives a Ford and its Canadian company. Stay with us to meet the President and CEO of Ford Motor Company of Canada. He has his finger on the pulse of the ever-changing auto industry. David Mondragon has worked with Ford Motor Company on both sides of the border. He has been at the wheel in lucrative economic times and in slower times like now, when some of the major car makers have been forced to recall, revamp, and rethink a bit. It is my pleasure to welcome David Mondragon, President and CEO of Ford Motor Company Canada, to Studio 4 to tell us more.
Thank you, Fanny. It's great to be here. It's great to be in Vancouver as well.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So, the business of the car business, where did you start?
The business of the car business. I started in 1985. I graduated from grad school in Boston. I answered an ad in the Wall Street Journal, and I moved to New Jersey. We built Escorts and Mustangs in New Jersey, and I started at a plant. And I started, quite frankly, as an administrative assistant. I did typing, I took dictation, I did the mail. So I started at truly the lowest levels of the company, entry level, and I've worked my way up.
So you earn the MBA and you start as a typist.
Yeah.
That's good.
It was good. You know, my starting salary was $27,000. I was happy to get a job, and I was happy to work for an American icon like Ford Motor Company. It's an honor to serve this company. It's an honor to serve the country, both in Canada and the U.S., and we've been in Canada for over 100 years. We have great tradition, great roots. Henry Ford personally founded Ford of Canada and ran Ford of Canada over 100 years ago. So it's great to have that legacy and that history and to fill those big shoes.
And on the company walls, do you have Henry Fordisms? Henry Ford said, Henry Ford believes.
Yes, we do. And we have a big photo of Henry Ford. We've got the Wall of Fame in World Headquarters in Canada, and we've got every past CEO in the history, and it's a pretty impressive list of people.
First car you drove, do you remember?
The first car I drove, I actually drove a Dodge pickup when I was in high school. My dad's truck, that was our date vehicle, so we had to clean it up. It was pretty messy on the weekend. First car I owned was actually a Cutlass Supreme, and I loved that. The first Ford product that I had and I drove was a Crown Victoria. So, and really? I loved it. Yeah, it was a fleet vehicle. It looked like a police unit, and I used to have to commute a lot of distance, so it got me from here to there pretty quickly. So it was a nice vehicle.
My first Ford, a Fairlane. Then I went to Mustang Fastback, great car, 65.
Yeah.
Then a Country Squire station wagon with the wood on the side.
I love that. You know, we had a LTD wagon when I was growing up. And it was one of those things you could never have on the road today. We had 9 kids. I had a big family when I was growing up. And we would take long-distance trips. And in the back, it was a metal bed in the back, and we'd fit 6 kids in the back, and they'd be slushing around, banging against the back. But it's how it was back then. It was a different time, a different world, and thank God we're all safe.
Yeah, so true. See the USA in a Chevrolet was not your thing.
It wasn't our thing. No.
See the USA in a Ford. Okay, so you picked president of Ford Motor Company during the meltdown, I understand, 2008, global economic crisis. Where did you start? What were the issues?
Well, the issues, quite frankly, and some of the issues that still face the industry are supply. Supply is way out of check with demand. Worldwide supply in the car industry today is over 90 million units. So there's capacity with all manufacturers to build 90 million units. The demand worldwide last year was a little over 50 million. So there's way too much excess supply. And one of the problems is the supply is not in the right areas of the world. The growth is exponential in China, in India, in South America, and that's where we need capacity. We have a lot of capacity in North America. And what Ford Motor Company has been doing over the last few years is we've been drawing down our capacity. We've closed nearly 20 plants. We've let go about 50% of our employees. We've made some very difficult decisions, calculated decisions, that put us in a better place today. So we are a smaller company. We're much more nimble, but we're very efficient. And we're building cars. We have a supply of cars that meet the demands so we can be more profitable, and it's more affordable for us to go to market.
Rumor has it, and they've printed it in the paper, Ford didn't get the memo. About rumors of our great demise, and that Ford actually is on the increase. How much last year? 2.7 bill, something like that?
Yeah, about 2.7. Let me just say, I love that article because we didn't get the memo. Look, one of the big differences between Ford today and Ford of yesterday is we're doing what's right for Ford. We've taken a position that we're going to lead, not follow the industry. We have done and made very difficult decisions, but we've done what's right for Ford Motor Company, what's right for our employees, our dealers, and our consumers as well. And ultimately, the consumers are winning. We're bringing to market the best product in the industry, the highest level of quality, the highest level of safety. We have more 5-star safety ratings than any other brand. Our new focus is going to be 80% common across the world. So we've commonized the products that mean the most to consumers. You know, when everything's said and done, the most important person to listen to is not ourselves and people in boardrooms. We have to listen to the consumers. The consumers are telling us what they want and need, and that's what we're going to market with.
Sure. And as a consumer, I'm never sure who owns what.
Yeah.
Ford owned Volvo until yesterday or something. Now China's going to take on Volvo, or what's going on?
Well, we still own Volvo.
Mr. President.
We still own Volvo.
Okay.
Now, that said, we've come into agreement with Geely to acquire Volvo. And it's
Geely,
a great,
China.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for three people. First, it's a great opportunity for Volvo. It'll let them spread their wings. It'll give them the resources that they need. It's a great opportunity for Geely. They're buying a very viable company with great opportunity for growth. And for Ford Motor Company, it's a great opportunity because we're getting an equitable exchange for the company. But mostly, we can do what we need to do as a company, and what we've been doing for the last 3 years is focus on the Ford and Lincoln, and in the U.S., the Mercury brand. You know, let's go to the dance with the people that brought us there. That's the Ford brand. That's our bread and butter. And we're going to have total emphasis on that brand that's really helping us leverage our position as we go forward. We're on a new era. We've got battery electric vehicles. We've got plug-in vehicles. We've got hydrogen vehicles. We've got CNG vehicles, hybrid vehicles. And so we're casting our line, and our net is being casted across the very wide spectrum of vehicle choices. And as the economy evolves, as the industry evolves, we'll start to hone in on what's the right choices for consumers. Yeah, but we have class-leading quality, class-leading fuel economy, class-leading safety, and the technology truly differentiates the Ford brand.
The downturn, you go to many auto shows, I'm sure. I've been to many auto shows over the years, and I hear tell from my friend Jerry Mikado
yeah.
that things have changed a bit. You know, there aren't quite as many perks.
Yeah.
Not as many beautiful women parading around. It's just different.
Right, right. You know what? Those are days gone by. Where you have, you parade around and you try to sell something different than the product. Our focus at our auto shows are an experience. We want consumers to come. We want them to touch and feel the cars. We have product experts there that can tell them about the features and benefits, tell them about the great fuel economy, tell them about the quality, and show them the difference between our product and some of the competitors in the industry. Our share is up for one reason. It's that we're building vehicles that Canadian consumers want, and they see the value in that. And one of the biggest challenges Ford Motor Company has today, even though we've had great growth, is when we come to markets like Vancouver, in Montreal and Quebec, we got to get consumers back into our showrooms to see. When they come in, they'll see this is not the company, the Ford Motor Company of 5 years ago. They know we have great trucks, but when they come into our showrooms today, they see we have world-class cars, and that's what's helping our brand grow.
Future of the car biz, of the auto industry.
Well, as I said before, one of the biggest issues in the industry is overcapacity. Quite frankly, there's too many players. There's too much capacity, too many players. Will there be some kind of reckoning force in the industry going forward? Probably so. Not sure what will happen, not sure how it will play out, but somehow the capacity has to right-size itself with demand. Or the industry does things that probably aren't the smartest thing for the industry. We used to do that ourselves. We used to push the volume at a higher level with higher incentives and force a market that really was artificial. And now we don't do that. We let the volume fall out with demand, and that's allowing us to be much more profitable as a company too, because we're not making decisions that's bad for us in the long run.
What do you drive?
Right now I drive a Navigator. I've got a Mustang convertible on order for this summer, and I got out of before the Navigator. I was in a Ford Flex and a Ford Edge. So I try to alternate my vehicles on a regular basis. I always drive the new products when they come out, and we've got so many products. I can't drive them all. We've got 8 new products this year, but I will drive them all for a week here and a week there. So I've got a feel of the fit and finish. I've got a feel of the ergonomics and how they drive, the responsiveness, and then I can really speak as a consumer who's experienced the product when I talk to people.
Ground Up CEO CEO you are, and I assume the family all have a Ford.
The family does drive Fords, yes. I've got my brother here that's a firefighter from Seattle. He's a fire chief, and he drives a Ford, a 1990 Bronco that he's still driving around. I can't get him into a new vehicle yet. He's put more money into that old vehicle than a new vehicle, but I'm going to conquest him. We're going to get him into a new vehicle very soon.
Well, if you'd give him a deal.
Yeah, that's probably
Maybe
it.
that'd work.
It all comes down to a car deal, right?
Exactly.
Thank you
you
so much.
Nice to meet you. David Mondragon, CEO, President, Ford Canada.